is your neurons in your brain. How can you even imagine that? And she is an expert. Top sponsor, April 2022, and she's an academic course coordinator, medical training consultant, and she is just overall an extraordinary business builder, speaker, and a wonderful human being. So let's welcome, please, Doctora Pia Cámara Chua.
Yes, everybody put your hands together for Doctora Pia Cámara Chua.
Good morning.
Generation X.
Magandang umaga po. Thank you, Mr. Huesca, Master Gillian.
It's my pleasure.
For that very, very heartwarming introduction. I've heard all your testimonies, your health testimonies, and truly, because one of the things that I do have is a lot of empathy. Even your energy resonates to me, so I know that it was a very heavy morning, because when we talk about testimonials for COVID, there's nothing light about it, and every person has his own story to tell. So can you just to share with before I go into the business building, because number one, it's always with me. I have doubts when people invite me because I'm a business builder, because truly I am not a business builder, so I am not actually the best person that you would want to hear about when you want to grow your LifeWave business, because for me, it's all about advocacy. It's all about health, because I am a doctor first and foremost, and it is something that is, I consider a vocation. I am not a doctor as a profession. The health comes first, the helping comes first, and then the money, whatever financial remuneration comes after, is just the blessing that comes after the work that I do. So just to share with you, how did I start first my LifeWave journey? Because I think it's important to go back to that, so that you can understand why I am where I am right now. Yes, I am an internist. I took internal medicine first, and then after 3 years of internal medicine, I decided, I don't want to go into cardiology or nephrology. That was my plan. But I went into neurology, because the mind, the brain is such a vast universe of learning. And there's so much that you can do with your brain and your neurons. But when I started practice, one of the things that I noticed was that conventional and Western medicine did not give me all the answers that I need. I went through all the training, the Western style training that is available here in our country. But then I realized, ang dami-daming kulang. There's so much missing in terms of looking at the person not as a disease condition, but in totality. So the first venture I had with integrative medicine, and it is a term that that so encompasses my practice as a doctor, is traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture. So I studied acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine. I took a few courses in it with Ateneo Health Dev. It's an NGO based in Ateneo. So I loved that. I realized that in my practice, and looking at people in general, you have to look at people in totality. Before they become disease conditions, they are people with health issues, emotional issues, mental issues, and all that. And they all contribute to whatever disease that we have. That's why if I correlate it with COVID, why do some people develop severe COVID? Why do some people develop mild COVID? It's about the psychology, it's about the overall health, and so on. So I went into traditional Chinese medicine, and then as I went into my practice, I wanted to discover more healing modalities that would help with my patients, and of course my family first, myself, my family, and then my patients. And in 2019, my sponsor is here, Rodel Corpus, introduced me to LifeWave X39. I've known him since way back. So even if I trusted him enough, when he came to me with this patch, I was very skeptical. Because number one, I didn't know about the networking side or the MLM side or the direct marketing side of LifeWave. I just wanted to see, oh, what's this patch all about? So when he told me about it, he introduced it to me. I was hesitant and I did my due diligence by myself. I read up on it, and then eventually I told myself, if this is anti-aging, I'm definitely not going to use it for someone who wants to look younger. So I challenged the patch. The very first patient I used the patch on was a stroke patient. He's a 53-year-old male in the prime of his life. He's had a previous stroke before. He wasn't my patient then, but on his second stroke, which was on the other side of the body, so he had two strokes already, one on the left, one on the right. On his second stroke, I can't remember, his left side was completely paralyzed. So he was devastated because he was saying, and the husband and the wife were saying, he and the wife were saying, Doctora, we've been taking our medications, we've been changing our lifestyle, my diet is more healthy. Why would I have another stroke? And I said, because people who've had a stroke are at higher risk for another stroke. So when I knew that, they were devastated and I couldn't offer enough, then I considered, what if I use the X39? Because if it says that it activates your stem cells, then it can also trigger better healing and neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is the recovery of the brain, especially when there is disease or injury. So if the X39 patch can stimulate stem cells, then surely it might do something for neuroplasticity and stroke recovery. And true enough, I was very, very amazed because in a month's time, he was already walking from completely zero to walking in a month's time. So that started my journey, and I continued and I continued. So initially, I was just a user, and then when many patients came along and Rodel was supplying me with the patches, I realized, wait a minute, I think because he introduced me to the business side already, but I was very averse to network marketing, honestly, and up to now, I still have my hesitations actually, and I still have my limiting beliefs, but pandemic came. So even if you're a doctor, if you work hard, if you're a physician here in the Philippines, you won't go hungry, but you won't be as rich, as the billionaires there as well. So you would have a comfortable life. But then the pandemic hit, and my practice was hit so hard because my main hospitals had to limit their occupancy rate and all that. So everything was like diverted to COVID patients, and then we had the lockdown. And then I realized, wait a minute, I have to re-evaluate myself and what I want to do. Because I was seeing some of my friends who were networkers already, that they were working from home and they were doing fine. And I said, wait a minute, why do I have to go out and, risk myself wearing all those very uncomfortable PPEs? And actually, how do you say it, being engulfed in all those negative energies, because the energy of COVID is very heavy. It's very painful, no? It's if you're someone who's energetically very sensitive, you would feel it's very heavy. It can cause a lot of anxiousness and depression also. So I said I didn't want that. So I came by this saying, no, this saying by C.S. Lewis, when he said that you're never too old, you're never too old to make new dreams. And I said, let me try this. So in the middle of 2020, I started building my business, one patient at a time, one person at a time. Of course, it started with my family, my guinea pigs were my family members. Of course, people, I wouldn't try it on people who were paying me to make them well, and then it wouldn't be so effective for them.
Doctora! Why?
Yeah, so all my patients were my family members. They were my guinea pigs for LifeWave, and it did not disappoint. In fact, it amazes me even today. Even today, 2 years into building, it still amazes me how the patches work for different people, for different intentions, and for different effects. So how did I start this? I started with my family, and then I chose, no, I didn't offer it to, I'm not I have my fears also. I have a lot of limiting beliefs because I have also my reputation as a doctor to protect. And the last thing I want is for people to think, oh, you're offering something again. You're just gonna offer me this patch. But I was really very picky and choosy about offering the patch to people who I thought would benefit from it. And luckily enough, when you establish, and when you establish a good doctor-patient relationship and your patient trusts you enough na whatever you throw at them, they'll believe you. It just came. One of my big challenges was the cost, no, because here in the Philippines, yeah, in the States maybe it's just a few cents for you, but here it it takes a lot also in the time of pandemic to to convince a person to sign up. So what I did, no, because Filipinos can be, how do you call it, can be lazy when it comes to signing up for themselves. So what I did, and what I think is still effective for me now, is I offer to sign them up myself. I get all their details because they trust me. If they don't pay me, then karma is my friend. So karma will work its way. But I make sure that I offer also that added service, no, of offering if they want me to sign up for them. Of course, it takes a lot of trust, no, and a lot of effort also. But I'm used to it because I'm a doctor. That's what I do. I take that extra mile for people that I need, who need my help. And also for those people, because one of the things that I'm very careful about is overhyping the effect of the.
Yes.
Now, if there's something that I'm very careful about, it is that, because I don't want those expectations to be so high, and then you would see naman there would be people na sobra, that the effect is amazing, but then there would be those that who would have effects that are not so, that are not so amazing for them. So I always level my expectations, or I always level their expectations. I make things realistic, and most of the time it works. That's like what they do. And I even if and I was very surprised, no, by the time that April came. And when Frank actually texted me, he was the one who informed me that I was on my 100th sign up. And I was actually amazed by that. And I was even more, how do you say it, flabbergasted when April, the first quarter, recognition came out, because I didn't even think. I was just I was just doing what I knew how to do, which was inviting people, encouraging them to try it one at a time. And I don't even sign up diamond agad. I'm not like that, because I always, I'm I told you, I'm very careful about, I let the patches speak for themselves. I only really offer either the bronze or the silver package to start, because that puts me in that perspective na, oh, if you're in my team already, if you're in my group already, then at least you're part of my chat group, and we can talk about how to maximize the use of the patches, how to maximize each and every patch, how to answer each and every query, how to answer each and every concern that my members would have. So I think I'm not the biggest builder, nor do I have the biggest team, but I do love that a lot of my members are users, and it's extending to their family as well. And if they go up from bronze and upgrade to silver and gold to platinum and diamond, then that to me is an affirmation that the patches are working, that they believe in the patches, and eventually, with a little bit prayer and a little bit push, they will also grow their own businesses as well. So I think there's no secret. There's no secret. No, I don't even like I don't even like holding weekly sessions. No, if it weren't for Rodel, who was always telling me na let's make it, let's make it a habit, a habit, a habit. And I go tell him, but Rodel, I have so much to do. Honestly, I have so many things to do aside from this LifeWave business because I am in it part time. But I think my take here is that if you believe in your patches and you believe that it will help people, then your sincerity will come out and people will believe you. So there. Pero yun, my takeaway is offer that because sa totoo lang, not a lot of people are techie. No, I have a lot of senior citizen individuals who don't even know how to sign up themselves, who don't even know how to access their emails. That's why my extra my extra service to them is I offer to sign them up and then they just transfer the amount by GCash or PayMaya or online transfer. It's fine because bronze is not as heavy as diamond. No, I will never sign up a diamond because number one, there's just too much. They have to verify your credit card and so on and so forth. But yeah, I start with bronze and silver, and majority of my people, I've signed them up myself. So it's easy for them. Yun po I think that's my secret. Yeah.
Amen. Thank you very,
Thank you
very much,
Thank you.
Doctora.
Everybody, please
Thank you,
put your
Doctora.
letter for Doctora Kamara Chua.